Sure y'all wondering why I got a saxophone in my hand. But I'm not gonna play today. I'm just gonna talk. Now jazz was created from the styles of blues and ragtime near the beginning of the 1900s. And it's still very popular to this day. There's different forms of jazz. Freeform jazz, smooth jazz, and of course, bebop. Now bebop was created in the 1940s. Two of the men that are given credit to this are Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie. Wonderful musicians that revolutionized the way jazz was played and have still managed to influence the musical world to this day. I'll let y'all hear a little something cool. Ah, yeah. Smooth. Now, fun fact. Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie actually made a song called Bebop. I got a little kick out of that one. But this is actually called Groovin' High. Now, as you can hear, the way bebop usually starts off is two instruments, the saxophone and the trumpet. And they start off with a melody played at a fast tempo in unison. And then they'll take turns improvising. Now this style of music requires a lot of imagination because improvising is just basically taking notes out of your head and playing it on your instrument. It takes a lot of creativity. Now, bebop music is known for its outrageous harmonies, its fast-paced solos and melodies, and it really makes sure that the musician knows his instrument because it's a lot of technical ability. Yep. Now Charlie Parker, for one, got the name Bird, according to biography.com, for one of two possible reasons. One, because he was as free as a bird, or two, he accidentally hit a chicken, otherwise known as a yard bird, while driving on tour with the band. I personally believe he got that name because his fingers could fly. Take another listen at this. Ridiculous. But Charlie Parker was born in Kansas City, Kansas in 1920, where he learned to play the saxophone at age 11 in his high school band. He dropped out at age 15. And in Kansas City, when Charlie Parker was growing up, legends like Count Basie and Lester Young were real big. But he left to go to New York once the Kansas City scene started dying down. And in New York, he played with several different bands where he developed his bad drug and alcohol problems that would eventually kill him. But it wasn't all bad because he teamed up with a cat named Dizzy Gillespie. Mr. the Jaws. Dizzy Gillespie was born John Burks Gillespie in South Carolina on October 21st, 1917. His idol was Roy Eldridge of the Teddy Hill Orchestra. And after he graduated high school, Dizzy Gillespie attended Laurinburg Institute, where he studied for 2 years before he and his family moved to Philadelphia in 1935. In Philadelphia, he worked with Frankie Fairfax, which was his first official professional job as a musician. And a few years later, he got to live out his dream and replace Roy Eldridge in Teddy Hill's orchestra. Now, Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker really innovated their style of jazz in Harlem, playing in different clubs. And you'll hear throughout their creativity, the way they changed the chords. Like they would harmonize on the 9ths, the 13ths, and they'd keep taking it up and taking it up. Like in Charlie Parker's work with Cherokee, he experimented with different chords of jazz standards. He improvised on a whole different level, as you could hear before with the ridiculous fingers he had. You know, he actually broke the rules of 4-bar jazz and 8-bar jazz, and he had different techniques for tones and harmonies. Now, Dizzy Gillespie actually started with more than just bebop. As his time progressed, he would actually create the first successful synthesis of jazz and Afro-Cuban rhythms, which is considered by some to be the start of Latin jazz. But to conclude, there would be no bebop if not for Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie. The way they harmonize and their pace of play and their ridiculous mastery of the instrument when it comes to improv really changed what it took to call yourself a musician, and still influence to this day. I mean, think about it. You listening to your favorite pop song and in comes a saxophone solo. Never would have happened without Bird. Never would have happened without Dizzy. Something to think about.